here's what tends to happen. In the early stages of building out a presence in a country you're not your home country, you tend to send so-called expats. Okay, so the first question you should be asking, what's the role of the expat? Is it to be a producer? Is it to build a team? Is it to do both? Is it to build some indigenous leadership by the time he or she leaves? And you need to talk about that. You also need to have some sense of how many years it's going to take to do what we really want to do. That's number one. Number two, what companies tend to do next when the expat goes, they tend to make a lot of lateral hires to get a jump start. And there's a tendency when the expat is doing the interviewing, unless it's a very unusual person, they're going to tend to want, and I was in this position, you tend to gravitate to people who can speak my language, because otherwise I'm going to be very lonely if I'm hiring a group of people who I can't communicate with, and it's not going to be effective. So they tend to hire excellent speakers, and they tend to sometimes mistake talent and effectiveness out in the market with language skills. Sometimes, and they learn over the years, the best English speakers may not be the most talented people in that market. So what I also believe is very important to talk about is you're going to have to do some amount of lateral hires if you're starting from ground zero. But my experience is you need to have a strategy, or think about whether you should have a strategy to hire young people and grow and cultivate them. And also, are you willing to take people who are not great English speakers but sufficient and train them to help them improve, and basically grow some of your talent so that your leaders are people you get to know over the years versus all these different lateral hires. So, or what should the mix be? These are all the questions you need to ask. And what skills do you need? How many do you need which do you need to basically hire outside versus can you be more patient and grow from within? And my own experience is, the experience of many multinationals is, if you rely too heavily on expats and then expats making lateral hires, you're going to have a lot of turnover because you don't get to know people until they work with you. And my experience is it's not easy to judge people until you do business with them, and you may make a lot of hiring mistakes. So what companies tend to learn is, we'll do some lateral hiring, but we better learn to start cultivating young people and work with them for years and get to know them before we have to make the promotion decision. And the success rate is higher.